So what you're seeing here is a cut through on the front wall of the isolation booth, and I placed a 4-inch piece of PVC pipe. And the purpose of this is I do have to feed some cables from outside into the structure. And I'll show you how I've done this. Of course, one of the problems is I spend so much time trying to make this structure as airtight and tight as possible, and now I'm cutting a hole through it. So what I've done here is I've taken some 4-inch PVC pipe, fed it through the wall, and then I put, just through the use of some elbow joints, kind of snake this thing around. And this is going to do two things for me. One is it's going to provide a nice 4-inch wide conduit through which I can feed some cables through. And also the S curve here is going to be providing some acoustic protection, because sound waves will have to kind of travel through that structure in order to affect my recording. You might ask, well, why did I decide on 4-inch? The other function that this structure is going to have is it's also going to help provide some ventilation for me. One of the issues that came up when I was talking to my father-in-law about this structure was he said, well, geez, Paul, how are you going to get air? If you're going to be locked in this room for half an hour at a time or longer, how do we know you haven't made this thing so tight you're going to pass out from your own carbon monoxide? So this 4-inch pipe is going to serve not only as a way for me to feed wires into the compartment, but also be providing an airflow possibility. And what you're seeing here is I just built a little structure. I'm going to enclose this with some sheetrock and put a little top on it, just to make it a little more decorative. Then the second part of the air system, and you see I've already begun, I'm going to be sticking another 4-inch pipe, this time almost like a chimney, through the ceiling. And then the idea is air will come in through the bottom, can circulate up, and hot air will exit through the top. Time now to think about some fans to help circulate air through my ventilation system. Right now this is a shot of the lower intake 4-inch PVC. You notice I've added a piece to help me divert all the wires down, and that leaves me a nice 4-inch opening on the end to hook a fan. On the top of the structure, which we cannot see, is the vent. That's kind of a chimney. I want to hook a fan on the top of that to act as an exhaust system. So what solutions did I come up with? Well, I went to my electronics store and I found this. This is a computer fan system. It's made by Silence, and what's interesting about it is that these are actually cooling systems built for cabinets. So instead of a fan that you would put on the computer housing, these are designed to be put on a cabinet in which you might keep all of your electronics. And what's interesting about these are the statistics. It's 2 fans, one I'm going to use for intake, the other I'm going to use for exhaust. The stats on these are pretty impressive. It'll generate from 600 to 1500 RPM, and it'll move from 36 to 104 cubic feet of air per minute. But perhaps most significantly, it boasts from 6 to 24 decibels of sound, which is very, very quiet, which of course is my primary interest. So I'm taking a look at that, and these are the parts right here. It comes with 2 fans, and this is the fan I'm going to use for the exhaust system, so I've aimed it to pull air up. This is the fan I'm going to use for the intake system, so it's going to be blowing air this way. And what's neat is the system comes with a little controller here that you can hook to AC. And then it has a little pot here to help control the speed. I've spliced in some wire for the top exhaust fan, because of course this is going to have to go on top of the isolation booth and is going to have to travel quite some way. But right now, these fans are on. And this is at the slowest speed, so theoretically this is moving according to the specs. This is moving air at 36 cubic feet per minute, and it's supposed to be around 6 decibels. So if I'm just quiet, let's hear if you can hear it. As a car goes by on the outside of my... Let's see if we can hear it. Now if I turn up the pot, this would be the fastest speed. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to, install these and then go inside the booth and see, well, how much sound is that making? It's entirely possible if I turn this back down, it's entirely possible that this very slow amount of movement is all I need. Again, because all I want to do is just move a little bit of air, but I don't want to move too much to create any noise. And I don't expect to be in there long enough that I need more air circulation than that. So my next step is going to be to mount these onto the 4-inch PVCs. I don't really have an elegant way to do that. I'm probably going to have to use duct tape. So we'll find out, and I'll give you a shot of what that looks like when I'm done. Welcome to the ceiling. This is the fan I've just connected to this exhaust system that's coming out from the isolation booth. Nice little turn here. This is not fastened at all to the structure. I put a couple of old washcloths here to do a little vibration absorbing. But here is the fan. I've just affixed it. The direction of the fan is this way, so it'll be an exhaust fan. And then I've just run the cord off and over the side. And this will be the last time we'll probably ever see the ceiling. Or the next time we come up here, it'll probably have a couple inches of dust on it, won't it? And here's the finished installation of the ventilation fan, which will be blowing air into the isolation booth.